Hello everyone, welcome back to Angela's Craft Room. I've come to you today to show you my second project for Word Art Wednesday Challenge blog. Karen was kind enough to ask me to be guest designer for them for the month of March, and this is my second project I've done for them, and it's a gift box easel display. Now I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm not going to be decorating the one we're going to be doing, but I'm going to show you how to make the base, and I'm just going to give you some tips on how to make your boxes and what I use as my glues and things that I use, so to ensure that this stays together when you give it to the person for years to come, because it's very sturdy. Boxes won't come off or anything. So to start with, just pop that aside. To start with, we do it in two stages. So we have an easel, which a lot of people would be familiar with the easel cards. So the easel is this part that goes right across. So we make that separate, and then we have a platform. That's this piece where the gift boxes are on the front. So I call that the platform. Now, a very good friend of mine, Annette, showed me how to do these many years ago, and they are quite popular. So another thing that you can do, I do Christmas ones and give them as gifts. So at Christmas, instead of having like flowers across, I wouldn't have my box up the top here either. What I do is I stamp out some baubles, like I have Christmas stamp sets, and then I die cut the baubles, or cut them out, fussy cut them out, and colour them and put them across the top. And then I decorate the boxes here in the front, would be like a Christmas theme, or you could do a nativity scene. It would be ideal for that. Or like if you had a special birthday, say a 70th or something, you could have the 70, as in 70, or whatever birthday it is, and you could have that up there. If you don't want to do the box up here, it is a challenge doing this box, and I will give you some tips on how to do it, but it is a challenge because that isn't glued in. This top box here isn't glued in. It is just, it has to be a very snug fit. Okay, so there's a few tips I'll show you on how to do that, but mine's very snug and it won't fall out. It definitely won't fall out if you do it the way that I do show you. So we'll just get started. So to start with your easel, you're going to have, I'm just using white, just whatever you want to use is fine. Just for the demonstration, I'm just using a piece of white cardstock. Now this measures 12 inch by 9 inch, so you're going to have a piece of 12 by 12 inch piece of cardstock for the easel, and then you're going to, so it's 12 inches by 9 inches, and then you're going to pop it on your scoring board, which I did previously, and you're going to score that at 4, this way, 4, 8 and 10. Okay, and then what we're going to do, we're going to just burnish with our bone folder those score lines. And you'll see very soon how easy that becomes your easel. So that's your easel part. But we're not going to glue that down as yet. Now, what I've done on mine, and what I normally do is, I normally put, just fold it up for you so it's easy for you to see. So you don't need to, I put cardstock on mine to start with, so I put some Sahara sand cardstock from Stampin' Up. You can use any colour, whatever you want, what theme you're doing and what colour scheme you're doing. But I wouldn't worry about putting any underneath there because that's going to be glued down to your platform. So you would only need to put the cardstock on this side and then on this side. I think it's nice to have it on the back as well because it finishes off your display. Okay, but then what I also do is that I put designer series paper on top of that, and the one I've used, it finishes at the end of March, so I'm not sure whether you'd be able to get it from Stampin' Up, but it's called Falling in Love, but it finishes on the 31st of March, so you'd have to be quick. So I put it across there, and I didn't put it on the back. Okay, I did put it on my platform. So you've put your cardstock on, and then you've put your designer series paper on. Now before you go adhering, that to there, if you're going to have a box up here, what you need to do is cut the slot out before you glue it. So just decide where I'm going to put it. Just use a pencil, and I think just for demonstration purposes I'm just going to put it there. You can put it wherever you want. Now my box that was up the top measures 1.75 inches by 1.75 inches by 1.75 inches. So then I would get a ruler and I would measure just approximately 1.75, then across 1.75, and then down here 1.75. I mustn't have done that one quite right. No, that should have gone down a bit further. Then I'm just going to go across there like that. Right. Now you want your box sitting up, so you don't want to cut right down to there. So to start with, I would just put a line across there, because you can just rub that out with your ruler afterwards. So then you need a really good pair of snips, and before you've glued or anything, you're holding that together so it cuts at the back as well. And I would do this before I put my cardstock actually on. Then you're not having to cut through so many layers. And then when you add your cardstock, you just need to cut it out. Now, as you see, so that's where your box is going to fit. But then once you make your box, I'll grab mine out. When I made that one, you can see it won't go in. So what you do, you just keep taking a little piece off until your box is going to fit in there. And that still needs a little bit more, but it's best just to take a little piece at a time. And as I say, you don't have to put this box on the top, but it does look nice. So let's have that. It depends which side you want it. So I'm just holding that just so you can see. And see, now that's going to fit in there. It's only flopping because I haven't got cardstock on there or anything, which having the cardstock and the designer series paper on your easel and platform does give it a lot firmer a lot sturdier hold. So you do really need to put the cardstock on and the designer series paper. Okay, and then you can just rub out these lines. Well, you're going to put cardstock over it, so it doesn't really matter. And it's just going to sit in there nice and firm, and you don't glue it in or anything. Okay, so I'll just pop that back over there. So that would be, that's my big tip for if you want to put the box at the top. If you don't, you just wouldn't do this cutting part out here, and you would just use this as your easel. And then all we do then is I use tear and tape, and you just put a piece down there, piece in the middle. I usually put 3 strips, and then I very carefully, because once you put this down on tear and tape, you won't get it up. So I suggest you grab the corner and just try and get as close to, as soon as it touches the tear and tape, it'll stay there. And then just try and do the other corner, and you should be pretty straight. Okay, and that would be your easel all ready to, and then you know, you could, I like to put my cardstock and designer series paper on before I glue this. It's a lot easier. So then that would be your piece of your easel. Okay, so then you need your platform. So this is the piece I cut. This is your platform, and this measures 9 inches by 6.5. And what I do is I cut a piece of cardstock exactly the same size and a piece of designer series paper exactly the same size. And then once I've adhered my cardstock and designer series paper, what I do then is I put my tear and tape 3 strips across the bottom of my easel, and then I just simply glue it to there. So you can see that's quite easy, and that's your base for making this display. Okay, so the other tip that I'll give you is when you're, this is the tear and tape. Now I don't use anything, but when I'm making my boxes or this display or something like off the page, I always use the Stampin' Up tear and tape. It's very strong adhesive, and your boxes won't come undone. So also I use, when I'm putting my designer series paper down, or even your cardstock as well, I use the multi-purpose liquid glue. The reason why I do that is because if I don't get it quite perfectly straight first time, with this glue it will give you a few seconds just to move it so it's completely straight. Okay, so that's just a couple of tips for you. The other one, I just want to let you know how I make my boxes. Now I use a gift box. It's actually from Stampin' Up. It's the gift box punch board. Now it makes 15 different size gift boxes. So this side is your inches and this side is your centimeters. So it has both, whichever you want to use. So I made I made 3 different size boxes for my display, but if you look at below this tutorial and click on see more, I'll put the link to the tutorial I've done on how to make your gift boxes with this gift box punch board. It just makes life a lot easier, and you just make them very quickly. So that's my project for the 29th of March for Karen, and I'd really love to see you having a go at making these, because they are very popular. People love to receive them, and I'm sure Karen would love to see some of these coming up in her challenge blog. So I really appreciate that Karen's given me the chance to to do 2 projects for her this month. And I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope to see some of these gift boxes in Karen's challenge really soon. So thank you for watching, and I hope this has helped you. But please just put any questions underneath this tutorial that you're not sure of, and I'm more than happy to answer them. So until my next tutorial, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. God bless.